Ocala back in the game. Ball spotted on the 1-yard line. Broderick Green. Oh, my! Across the 50. Still on his feet. This will be 99 yards. It's a record here in Fayetteville. Broderick Green will never have a longer run in his career. 99 yards.
This is Broderick Green, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Welcome back into The Morning Rush, hour number 3, going to the phone lines where we're bringing in former Razorback and current Harbor Junior High running backs coach Broderick Green now joins us on The Morning Rush. Broderick, good morning. You hear that highlight coming in, 99 yards on that touchdown. Do you remember what play call that was, man?
Oh, of course, man. I'll never forget it.
What did Coach Petrino call and Coach Paul Petrino call in that play that day?
They called a inside zone out of an I formation. We always practiced it coming out of the goal line, and we always did goal line situations, and it was one of those plays where we always talked about scoring on it. And he said he never had a person go 99, and I told him I was going to be the first to do it.
Broderick, better memory for you, man, that 99-yard one or punching it in against Texas A&M and going over the top of the Aggies in 2011?
Ah, man. Oh, that's tough. I never even thought about that. I had the same feeling on both scores.
Broderick, catch us up a little bit. What have you been doing since the end of your playing time at Arkansas, and what led you to get into coaching right now?
Man, I've actually been all around. So I tried the professional thing. I had a chance to go down to Tampa Bay. A lot of people didn't know. I was a free agent. I went down to the mini camp. I came in the same time Doug Martin came in, and was killing it down there and tore my calf muscle. So obviously, with it being a business, I got released, came back, and was trying to figure out my life. Didn't have a clue. So I talked to my best friend, Brian Mopper, who's coaching at Josie Robinson right now. Sat down with me, and he was like, hey, you know what? Man, I think you should coach. You know, I think that's your calling. And I was like, think so? And I was like, I mean, I've always wanted to. I was like, let me try it. So I did it. I loved it. Everything was great, but I wasn't certified. And so, you know, it was tough financially, and I felt like I needed to get away to try to make some money and, you know, start my life and get going. And so I did that. I moved up, got in transportation, and went to J.B. Hunt for a little bit, went to Tyson the last couple of years. And all that time I was doing it, I just knew in my heart, I was like, this is not where I'm supposed to be. You know, I was like, I'm supposed to be, you know, impacting the youth and preparing the kids for the future and giving back and, you know, being that mentor, father figure, and, you know, being around the kids, supporting them, loving them. And, you know, I know that's what I'm supposed to do in my heart. I know that's my purpose and my passion. And I said, all right, this is the year. If I can find a job or school that believes in me and that'll give me an opportunity, I'm making it happen. And so I'm at Central Junior High. Loved the administration. Just from the time I interviewed and the time I met all the coaches and administration, and, you know, I felt received, and, you know, they loved me, and we all knew it was a good fit, and I'm excited to get started.
Do you remember that moment where you finally took the leap of faith? Sounds like you put a lot of thought into it, but when was that moment you finally said, all right, I'm leaving the trucking world or a professional life, and I'm getting into coaching and doing that full time? Do you remember that seminal moment there for you?
I've had several over the years. I mean, I from random times where I go to a game to go tailgate, and, you know, and I talk to someone and they say, yeah, man, what are you up to nowadays? Haven't seen you in a while. Are you coaching somewhere? You know, like, I know you were coaching at Josie Robinson, and instantly my heart would hurt because I knew where I was supposed to be. I knew what I was supposed to be doing. And I see another person, they say, yeah, man, what are you doing nowadays, man? Are you coaching somewhere? And so every time I heard that, I just knew that, man, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I know my calling, and it's not here. And I love my job, and, you know, I love the people at the company, but I just knew where I was supposed to be. And just after, being out for so long and missing it and seeing the kids. And, even times I go back up to Joe T. Robinson, there were still kids around who I coached before. And they say, Coach Green, you need to get back in the coach, man. Coach Green, man, come back down here, man. There's Joe T. Robinson in Little Rock. Come, Coach Green, like. And so knowing that I left that much of an impact in a year and a half, pretty much as a volunteer, not even a really certified coach, I was like, hey, think of what I could do being certified and actually being there full time every day in their lives and being, like I said, that mentor, father figure that prepares them for life on and off the field.
Broderick, when you look around and see some of your teammates, Ryan Mallett's into coaching, Joe Adams into coaching, there's probably some more that we don't know about. But it's, I think it's a testament to what you guys had as teammates and that, the love of the game. And that's what I saw on the teams that were winning, how much y'all loved football and loved each other. And it's got to do your heart good to see all your teammates back in coaching.
Oh, yeah, it's exciting. I'm very happy for Joe. I'm very happy for Mallett. I actually talked to both of them recently. And, yeah, I mean, like I said, it was great to see guys giving back and doing what they love and being happy and being passionate about it. And like I said, I think it's great for the state as well, and it's great for recruiting. And, we can steer these guys back to university. We can try to keep the guys in state, show them what it's like to play for us and to stay at home. And, it's such a big picture.
Broderick Green, former Razorback, current Springdale Harbor junior high running backs coach with us on the Morning Rush. Broderick, we're talking about coaching. You played for one of the best, Kevin Kelly. What conversations have you had with him about the coaching side of things with football?
Coach Kelly's a guy, like I said, we've always stayed in contact. We've been close from the moment we met when I was a kid, because my brother played at Blast Academy before I did. And, we just been close. He's always looked out for me. Any kind of advice I need, whether it be sports, on the field, off the field. He was like, hey, I'm here for you. Whatever you need, whether it be the offensive side of the ball, defense side of the ball, special teams, doesn't matter. He was just there, very supportive, spoke highly of me as far as a recommendation. Like I said, I know he'd do anything for me. And, I'm just blessed to be in this position. And like I said, I'm excited, man. I can't wait to get started.
Let's go back to high school, Broderick. Originally, you started out your career at USC, came back to Arkansas. Take us back to your decision-making and becoming a Trojan at first, and then why you eventually decided to come home and be a Razorback.
Man, I just, at the time, I didn't feel as if I was wanted here in the States. A lot of stuff went on behind the scenes a lot of people don't know about, but me and Coach didn't get along at the time. And I felt I was wanted more at USC. Coach Carroll put in a lot more effort. He came down here to see me and, got back with me and said, P offered me a scholarship right away. At the time, Arkansas offered me like 25th. And I respected them to be my first offer. And, Coach Malzahn was pretty much the only coach that was recruiting me hardcore and wanted me to come here and actually just laying it all out on the line. But the rest of the staff wasn't so sure about me. And knowing that, I wasn't going to go to a place where I wasn't wanted. And so I decided to go out of state. But while I was there, I was having success. A lot of people thought, oh, he's transferring, he's not going to play. He's stacked behind all these running backs. I was actually second string as a freshman. And I broke my foot my freshman year, but had a lot of stuff going on back home. My grandmother was having issues. She's still alive. Had a couple of health issues. My mom was going through a bad divorce at the time. My uncle had a bad car accident, was injured pretty bad, had to use the jaws of life to get him out. Several broken ribs, bleeding internally. It was just so much going on. And, at 19 years old, and I'm way in, Los Angeles, I just kept thinking about home. I had so much going on, and my grandmother. my grandmother raised me. She's like my mom, and I love her to death. And I didn't want anything to happen. And I wanted to be home. I wanted to be there for her. I wanted to be there to support her and help her. And I was like, if this is my opportunity to go back and do those things, I'm gone. So I left for the bigger picture. It was for my family because I'm family-oriented. And it wasn't about my career. It wasn't about going to the NFL, all that. I knew I could do that anywhere I played. And so I wanted to go home, be with my family, take care of her. And I had a chance to do that.
Broderick, you just walked through a lot of things that were going on in your life at the age of 19, and then you got the outside sports media and the fans and message boards not understanding all that. What's it like as a player to be in the middle of people speculating about why you're doing things, and they don't know that your uncle was in a car crash and your mom's going through a divorce? And personally, what's it like going through things of that nature when people don't have all the story?
It's tough, especially as a kid at 19. Like I said, you have to have thick skin, and my mom prepped me very well because she's very tough. She always, talked to me about the games. Most of the time, it wasn't even immediate. It was, if I didn't have a good enough game, she was on me about not running hard enough and not scoring enough touchdowns and, not breaking that last tackle to score, and so I was pretty prepped from her. So I was able to handle it, but I know a lot of other players who probably couldn't handle it if they were in my position at that time. It's definitely tough for a kid, though. A lot of kids are sensitive nowadays, and if you're not prepped well or you don't have that support system, it's really tough to overcome situations like that.
Broderick, talking about toughness, kind of go through what it was like to play for Bobby Petrino, because that's one tough man.
Oh, man, he is one tough man. The total opposite of Pete Carroll, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I bet.
Man, Pete was so happy-go-lucky, just energy every day and excited. And the first day I got to Arkansas, I'd never forget. I was in the meeting room. He walked in. He was like, I need everybody to sit up in your chairs, don't say anything, and get your eyes on me. And I was like, oh, this is boot camp. I was like, here we go. And so, he's hard-nosed, great coach. He's firm. He likes what he likes, and if it's not done the way he wants it to be done, you're doing it over. He's all about perfection. He's all about muscle memory. And, I know he gets a bad rap for a lot of things, but, actually I felt he made me an even better player, and just knowing that, like I said, when I'm sprinting out and I'm running a stretch route or swing on my third step, I'm looking back at the quarterback and the ball should be coming in my hand, and just he was so detail-oriented on the little things. And, so just carrying that over with me, into everyday life. And even now, as a coach myself, it's going to help me be a better coach. And it helps me be a better player at the time.
I heard him say one time, don't ever turn down a hit. And I think he was referencing a running back that might have run out of bounds. I never saw you turn down a hit.
Oh, no. I almost cursed when you said that. No, I was just kidding. No, I've never avoided hits, man. I've always loved contact. And people always ask me, they say, all right, man, what was the hardest hit you've ever taken, man? Who was the person that just made the most contact? And I'm like, nobody.
Broderick Green with us, former Razorback on the Morning Rush. Broderick, kind of on the note of Coach Petrino and his coaching style, I think it was Chris Gregg that was talking about that you got to a point where you hated him because of how much of a tyrant he was, but that caused you guys to come more together as a team, and it caused you to kind of like come together in a sense and like, well, we better start winning or this guy's going to be honest and wear us out. How much did that factor into you guys really becoming that football team really in that era?
That was a lot of it. Like I said, at one point, obviously we were young at the time. We were kids. We didn't understand. We felt like we were all we had at one point. And it was like, hey, we made it a competition where it was like, okay, it's players versus the coaches. Like, we're going to show them that we know our plays. We're going to show them that everybody's going to do everything right. We're going to show them that we're going to be perfect. We're going to show them that, we can compete with them, and we want them to try to think we're going to mess up on something, and we're going to do it right every time. And we're going to support each other if someone messes up. We're going to keep their head up. We're going to keep the energy going. So we had guys keeping the energy going, offensive guys supporting offensive guys, defensive guys supporting both sides, special teams, and we just became this big family from everything we were going through, and it developed a very strong support system.
Broderick, does it frustrate you to see where the team in? Because, you were part of a pretty good era of Arkansas football. Does it irritate you as a former player that put in all that hard work, all the blood, sweat, and tears to see where the program has fallen to this point?
Yeah, it's frustrating, but I'm not going to blame the guys, as far as the coaches and all that kind of stuff. It's been a lot of rotation, a lot of in and out. Coach for here, a year or two, coach for 2-3 years, out, coach for 3, So we haven't had that consistency as far as one coach in a system, being around the guys, recruiting, developing players, the whole nine. So it's like when we can get that, I think we'll get a chance to try to get the ball rolling again and, kind of get back to where we were. So, it's going to take time. Some fans have to understand that you can't be unrealistic. You can't force anything. You can't expect it all right now. Not that it's impossible, but, a lot of times, you don't just come in with a brand new coach and win 10 games, it takes time. You got to get to know your personnel. You got to implement the correct style of coaching and, game plans, and you got to see what you got, what you need to recruit. So it's a lot to take on as far as a new coach and stuff like that. But I actually had a chance to meet Coach Pittman, great guy, definitely a player's coach. I didn't know much about him, but I was hearing certain things from players I played with that hung around towards the end and, was here during the Bielema times. And, like I said, I believe in him. I'm confident in him. And, I'm excited to see what he's going to do.
Hey, Clay brought it up earlier about Joe Adams back in coaching at CAC. We mentioned Ryan Mallett. He's at Mountain Home. Ty Story's over at Bentonville West System. Drew Morgan's in Oklahoma coaching. Bray Cook we had on last week. He's at Pea Ridge. Why do you think, particularly in this off season, there's been so many former Razorbacks in the last few years get into coaching in high school in Arkansas?
I think coaching is one of those things that, a lot of players want to do, especially, after sports, if they have that opportunity. Like I said, man, it's a great way to just be around the kids and, to be around the environment, to stay home, to, help build programs, to help prepare kids for the future. And, it's a rewarding feeling, and like I said, I've done it before, even as a volunteer, to know that I made an impact. It feels great when you got a player that comes up to you after practice. Like for example, I coached T.J. Hammonds when I was at J.T. Robinson, and he'd come up to me and he'd say, "Hey, Coach Green, what do I need to work on? What do I need to do?" And so after practice, he'd come up to me and I said, "Hey, okay, let's go over your steps. Let's go over your footwork on this. Okay, hey, let's make sure you're carrying the ball the correct way. Let's make sure you're reading the press to cut back. And so I was showing him different things and. Once I had him bought in, like I said, players will do anything for you. You get them to buy in, show them you care about them, show them that you want them to do well and excel in life, you got them.
Broderick, last question before we let you go. We have Tyler Wilson on from time to time. I know you guys are buddies. What's your favorite Tyler Wilson story?
There's so many. Actually, I'll tell a little small story that no one knows. And I was kind of, I was like, wow, never knew Tyler was like this. Actually, when I first transferred in, me and him, we knew each other from playing each other in the state championships and all that kind of stuff, but I didn't know him very well. So when I first transferred in here, he was the first guy to actually kind of take me in. He was like, hey, man, I know you don't know all the players as well and all that kind of stuff. And and you're learning the offense, man. If you need any questions, if you got any questions or need any help with anything, and, man, I, love to help you and stuff. He goes, hey, man, let's go out, get some lunch or something, and, just kind of talk and break down everything. And so as soon as I got here, we got together and went out to lunch, and, talked about life and just, from high school to when I got back here and, introduced me to other players that I didn't know and went to lunch and talked about the offense and just kind of helped me get acclimated with everything. So, yeah, man, Tyler's a great guy. He's one of my boys. And we normally stay in contact. And I see him here and there time to time when he's in Fayetteville or when I'm in Little Rock. I haven't talked to him in a while, though. But, yeah, man, that's one of my boys.
Broderick Green, former Arkansas running back, Central Warriors running back coach up there at Harbor Junior High. Broderick, thanks for making some time for us on the Morning Rush, man.
No problem, man. Appreciate you guys having me.
Good stuff from Broderick Green.